Hi, Debbie Giaquindo. I want to thank you for clicking to view Winephabet Street C is for Carmenere. Before you go in, I just want to apologize up front. The day we recorded this was the day of the solar eclipse, and I had the opportunity to view it from the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. So the internet where I was, and I blame it on the eclipse, was kind of sketchy. So it is broken up at times. So I do want to apologize at first, but I hope you get something out of learning about C is for Carmenere. Thank you. Okay, we're live.
We are live. We are live. So,
and I'm
coming from Fresno. We're all
gotta love it
now. We are all
so if our connection is, it might be me. I'm in the middle of the Smoky Mountains. I think my internet's good in the hotel here. I haven't had a problem, but Lori and I seem to be having a little issue here, so I apologize, but
it's all good. We're here to drink wine and talk about wine. So we are going to start off with our little introduction today, and hope you all enjoyed the eclipse, and Elmo's here to sing for you.
We're moving our bodies to the ABC. Dance nearby, dance far away, now clap your hands. To the letter of the day, clap, clap. What's the letter, clap, clap? What's the letter, clap, 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 clap? What's the letter? 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 The letter of the day is C.
Hey, that kind of went smoothly. We're getting better, I remember timing it. So, I am Lori. I am coming to you from Fresno today, and that little brief time that we had of the eclipse was the coolest it's been here in Fresno for the last 2 months. I was very, very happy. Unfortunately, as soon as the eclipse ended, it went right back up, and I think we're at 97. It's just out of control here. But if you don't know who I am, my husband and I own a small winery in Paso Robles called Dracena Wines. We specialize in Cabernet Franc, and we are the founders of Cab Franc Day. And that's all for today. We'll talk more next month.
Okay, and today from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where I went into the Smoky Mountains, and I will tell you that. And tomorrow I will probably, or if I have time tonight, we'll post them on my. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine blogger, wine writer. I'm a certified specialist of wine, a wine look. I just wrote and published a book called Tapping the Hudson Valley, which is all about day trips and weekend itineraries, visiting the craft beverage producers of the Hudson Valley and the sites along the way.
All right, and we are also, I'm attempting to do this, we are also on Instagram Live right now, but I don't think I can handle all of this all at the same time. So if I am ignoring the people on Instagram, I'm sorry, I just can't do it all. And we are going to try to pay attention to the chat in this presentation right here today.
Yes.
But
yes.
Anyway, so today is the letter of the day is C, and we are going to be talking about Carmenere. And I'm going to start off with the general characteristics of Carmenere. Basically, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, Petit Verdot, and Carmenere are considered the basic original 6 red grapes of the Bordeaux region. Okay, so it actually did originate back in France, and Carmenere comes from the name carmine, which actually refers to that crimson color that's under the leaves right before the fall. So leaves really aren't supposed to go red. That's a bad, bad thing. You know, the red blotch, and that's happening a lot now. But this grape, this vine actually does have a little bit of crimson in it, and that's where Carmenere came from. Now, it did start in France, but it was kind of phylloxera, whatever, and now it's found mostly in Chile. And we're going to show you this for the basic characteristics. Okay, it is raspberries. We have bell pepper, paprika, red plums, and cocoa. Now, the thing about the bell pepper is that it really comes in depending on the weather itself. So Carmenere likes a long growing season. And if it's in that length, if it's during a colder season and rain comes in, that's when that herbaceousness comes into play. Okay, so depending on what the season is, how much rain came, how much rain, when it came, you get a lot of different variations in the palette for the Carmenere. So typically, Carmenere is a deep red color. It's got the red fruits, the spices, and the berries, and it's typically a gentler wine. So in terms of tannins, it's not a huge, huge wine. It's got medium body, and although it is typically used as a blending grape, it really can be obviously all on its own as its own varietal also. Okay, hotter, shorter vintages, the clusters are going to ripen faster. So the fruit is also can get that bell or hot pepper notes. The crop conditions really, really influence the overall wine with Carmenere. It is considered a difficult grape to grow. It's a little finicky, and it has a lot of tendencies to, you know, rain here, it does this. No rain, it does that. The soil is really, really important to Carmenere. So it's a difficult grape. And now it's really in Chile, which has got like 8,800 hectares, which is like 21,745 acres of Carmenere all in the Central Valley. So if you're looking for a Carmenere, you're pretty much going to go to Chile to find one. So that's what I have for general characteristics.
Okay, so let me bring up my slide presentation here on the history. So start there. Here we go. So the history of the Carmenere grape. Hold on a second. I lost you guys. There we go. Little technical difficulties here, but that's okay. So Carmenere grape in Europe. It started out in France, and let's see here. Let me go here. Next slide. Oh, next. So it started out in France, but most importantly, I want to say, who is your dad? Is the daddy of Carmenere? We have Cab Franc, and we have gross arts of Carmenere. And Merlot is actually a half sibling of Carmenere, which is really important because as I talk, you'll see why. So Carmenere originated. I think I have a picture of Bordeaux. Here we go. It originated in Bordeaux, and it was one of the grand, along with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. However, after philosophy, I've been up since 4 a.m., killed all the vines in 1867, didn't replant Carmenere. They replanted with Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot. Because that's how you explain when to bring over what they thought were Merlot to Chile vines. So they thought it was Merlot. So they planted Merlot vineyards, harvested like Merlot, but in 1994, their botany expert, Jean-Michel Bourchot, which I'm sure I'm hacking his name, so I apologize. Merlot vines took much longer to ripen. And then he noticed you have the Merlot leaf and you have the Carmenere leaf. And he did some genetic and found that intermingled within the Merlot vines was Carmenere. So that's how they discovered that they had the Carmenere. Carmenere is also grown, well, let me see. It is grown in Chile in the wrong thing here. The largest plantings are found in the Calachuga Valley of Chile. Some in Veneto and Friuli in Italy, and some in California and in Walla Walla. Bought a Chilean Carmenere, but I was going through my wine stuff at home and I realized I had one from California, which Carmenere is the signature grape of Chile. The reason I'm not going on with my my PowerPoint, I'm thinking ahead here. So we talked about other regions it's grown. So in 1998, Chile officially recognized Carmenere as a distinct variety. Signature grape is Carmenere Day. So every wine grape has its day.
There you go. That's my grandfather's.
Yeah. That's right. So that's pretty much what I have on the history of it. When it was brought over to Chile, they thought it was Merlot. They thought they purchased Merlot when indeed it was Carmenere.
Oops.
So
yeah. It was, I actually found it kind of difficult to find stuff on the grape varietal. It was like the same stuff over and over and over again, but not a lot of information about it. You know, it's like, yes, it started in France, Syrah killed it, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah, I found there wasn't, going back, it started in Bordeaux. It was part of the Bordeaux clan there, Then after disease, replant, but they did some replantings, but, that's where the nursery where it was imported from to Chile was from Bordeaux.
Right.
So.
Right. I just.
They thought it was.
Right. And, it is a relative. It is a relative. I just, I thought that I'd find more. I thought I'd find more information about it, but it seemed to be a lot of, sadly, a lot of people, I was like reading the same sentence over and over again. I would look at this website and I would read something, and then I'd go to this website and I'm like, that sounds really familiar. And then, it was pretty much the same exact thing over and over again. But I think the biggest thing was that it's a very weather dependent grape, and it's a tough grape to grow, which I guess is why you don't see so much of it all over the place as its own varietal. You don't want to spend the money of planting the grapes and then planting the vines and then having the issue with it, with it constantly trying to fight Mother Nature, basically.
Chile is a good region for it to grow. I think they need to, but I've had Carmeneres that are less than, with more so. I think they really need to work on perfecting the growing of the grape. That's my own personal thing, because there's certain characteristics of the grape that I personally don't like. It overpowers the wine, but we'll get into that when we talk about
right. And just I think that if it can, if you can find one that fits your palate, I think it can be a nice wine because of how it's set up. It's the fruit should be pretty big. It's a big fruit flavored wine. And the body is not overpowering, but it's not, it's not a light wine. So it can stand up to food, or you can drink it by itself.
A good Carmenere tastes between a Cab Franc. It's powerful, but not as powerful as a Cab Franc. I think,
right.
But I've had a couple of really good ones from Chile. I'd have to go back and look on my blog and tell you what they were. But
so with that, what are you drinking?
Okay, so I'm drinking hotel style today. Plastic cup in the hotel. And I am drinking Via Fio. So let me see here.
All right.
Via Fio.
I do love that guy.
I'm going to reach you.
Okay.
But I'm going to explain to you what the ugly old man means.
All right. Well, I am drinking a Carmenere Reserva. Okay. So this is what I'm drinking, Momentos. And if you were listening, if you listened into the Bordeaux episode, I said, oh, it's got a prisoner on it. Well, that's me looking quickly. It is not a prisoner. It is actually a, I'm blanking on the word, the harvest thing. What's that thing called? That harvest thing. I should know what it is from Hunger Games. But
I'm blanking on it.
Cornucopia.
Cornucopia.
So it's a cornucopia, but it does have like lines in it. So I wasn't that far out looking quickly. It does kind of look like a prisoner, like there's a hat and a face or whatever. But yeah, we'll just let that go. But this is actually from Chile. And this is the back label. And that is the front. And it is Momentos. And it is D-O. And I have no idea how to say it correctly, but how do you say the valley correctly? Cachapul Valley. And it's a Reserva. So my bottle was
a front of the bottle. Mine is, because you never judge a bottle. He might be ugly, but but he's a beautiful person. So what's in the bottle is beautiful. That's what the whole basis of that wine is.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I couldn't find very much on the reasoning of the label.
Yeah. And I will say this bottle was only $10.
Right. It's a good millennial wine because it's under $10. Mine too. Mine was $9.49. So it's under the $10 mark, which the millennials like. But let's do our little comparison. It actually is darker than I had expected it to be.
Yeah. My beautiful plastic cup.
Yeah, with the dots and stuff. But actually, it kind of is close to the same color.
Go ahead. You go first.
I don't know. I am baffled, and I'm so sorry, but I am baffled by what aromas I am getting from this. there's definitely pepper. There's green pepper in there, but that's not what's overpowering. It's kind of like, oh, and this is so bad, but you know when you open up a I don't even know if anybody does this anymore. You open up a brand new tire tube for your bike. You have that powder, you know, that's what this reminds me of. And
So my when I first opened this, but it's been open for probably about a half hour, a little bit. But I get green pepper and some plum.
plastic. There.
And I get the green pepper not only on the, it's kind of like a mixed in with some black fruit. I don't get any, but a little bit more powerful. But it doesn't, it's not overpowering because I've had some.
I know. You know, mine's been open.
And dark.
Mine's been open for almost an hour now. I opened it at about 4:40, so you know, about 40 minutes, I guess. And more of that rubbery powder stuff has dished off. You know, it's gone off. I do get plum, but it's just not. It's not doing it. I'm also drinking it by itself, which maybe it would be better with food.
Yeah, me too.
It's got, you know, I mean, my wine.
Speaking of food, should we go into the food pairings?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking to see now this actually does have a little bit of residual sugar in it. They're listing it as a little bit of residual sugar.
Really?
Yeah, and it's 13.5% alcohol. So it's not that big of a alcohol.
Mine's 13.5 too.
Yeah. But we didn't talk about the actual winery itself. My wine actually, I had to figure out who the winery was. It's Chateau Los Boldos, and it was a winery that was created in 1991. And what I thought was interesting about them the most was that they've been purchased, so they're kind of in mass production now. Mine
is owned by a conglomerate.
Yes. Which I kind of am having a feeling that might be a big thing. They're buying them up. Because they're now in over 40 countries. Their oldest vines were planted in 1948. But what's interesting is they only have one vineyard site. It's on the winery. You know, the winery is actually on the vineyard site. It's 250 hectares, and that's it. Like all of their fruit comes from there. And they're located in the Cachapol Andes, which used to be known as the Alto Cachapol, and it's about 100 kilometers south of Santiago. And everything is manually harvested, but they are now owned by So Grape. Is that who owns yours? Did you find that out? So Grape is the Portuguese company that actually owns them. That's about all I could find about them.
Now, I had a really hard time finding information on my wine by a company, a larger a winery brand, whatever you want, conglomerate. But that's all I could find. I couldn't find anything about are from, but I couldn't find anything about anything. Not even like the site. The site that I went to had all the wine brands, and you click it on, and it just tells you what's on the back of the bottle.
Right.
So I had a really hard time trying to get personal. I had a hard time trying to get personal with the old man. And I have to say, it was a fail. I put information story, or even about the conglomerate that.
Yeah. It's a very
like a slideshow.
Right. It's like a very different. Oh my God! Mine was a slideshow too that gave no information. It just goes to show you the old world. They don't care about who's making it. It's all about the region or whatever. Where us, you go to pick a winery in the United States, and the website is all about it.
And you know what? That might be why the quality fluctuates with this grape.
Right.
Because the grapes that the Carmenere that I've had from Chile that outstanding, that was very good, was a small boutique. That was not big part of big business. So maybe that's where you get the difference in quality.
Right. Probably true. So with that, how about we go into those food pairings you're talking about?
All right, let's go into the food pairings. Let's start. All right, we're going to go into the food. I haven't eaten since the eclipse. So food pairing. So the food goes good with actually lamb. I found a lot of there were a lot of pairings with lamb, and lamb because with that is flavored with herbs. When you roast.
Right.
It really would make sense since it's real, a French grape, because the green herbaceous chem. So we got lamb.
Ooh. I know what that is.
Because there could be a smokiness to it. It works well with dishes that have bacon. So really, when you think Carmenere, try it with a spinach salad that's got bacon and blue cheese in it.
That sounds awesome.
Oops, sorry. It's good with greens. Green types of vegetables. It's good with hard cheeses like cheddar. It's also good with empanadas.
Drool.
And someone actually suggested Mexican food. It's good with roasted and grilled vegetables. I really like the bacon thing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I like the lamb. I can see this going with lamb. I can see if you have, there's my grilled vegetables. Empanadas.
Not gonna lie, I make some kick-ass empanadas. Mike loves them. They're pretty easy to make.
Wait for the invite for dinner.
When I'm back in Jersey.
So I can see the herbs of Provence going with this.
Right.
And I might be able to see the spinach salad. I think with the bacon and the blue cheese and the wine might be good.
Ooh, you put blue cheese on? Oh, I don't do blue cheese. Blah. No blue cheese.
I
With
love
the
blue
bacon.
cheese.
I add extra bacon and extra eggs, and then to my spinach, to my spinach salad.
Oh,
But I don't do
I
anything.
like blue.
Ugh. The microbiologist in me, it's a fungus. I don't eat anything that's a fungus. No mushrooms for me. Blah. Spores. Blah. No, no, no. The other thing that I saw that I thought was interesting was they were talking about it can stand up to some spice. So they were talking about
That's what they said. They said, it would taste good with Thai food or Mexican. But I
arrabbiata
don't
sauce.
know.
I saw a recipe to pair it with pasta and arrabbiata sauce. I was like, that because arrabbiata is a tough food to pair wine with. It's
That because when I think of hot and spicy, I think more of a Riesling that's got a little like a hint
right,
of sugar to it to combat the heat of
right,
the Mexican food.
yeah. I don't know. I was like, all right, we can try
So
it. I love arrabbiata sauce. Mike is not a heat spice guy. Those two different
okay,
spice heat. There's the like
right,
chipotle versus the actual heat.
right.
But yeah, they were
I'm a
talking
heat person.
and of course, salamis and things like that would
Yeah,
supposedly.
that would be good.
Yeah,
With,
right.
with
Yeah.
the pepper in it.
With what?
Do you ever buy this one with the logs of salami that's wrapped in the cracked pepper? That would
Yeah.
taste
I bet. Absolutely.
really good with it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so should we?
Okay, now I'm
So do we
hungry
have any other?
because
I
I
know, I am too.
had honey bunches of oats this morning and that's it. So I'm kind of hungry at the moment. But so I have our nice
So should
little.
we, Carmenere, does anybody have any questions? Do we have any more to do?
Just the Carmenere facts, the fast facts.
Okay, let's do the facts then.
All right.
Does anybody have?
Wait, I can stop it and go back. I hope that didn't disappear if I stopped it. Did I mess that up?
No, we're on the screen.
Okay. All right. Carmenere facts. Okay, so here we go.
There we
Carmenere,
go.
fast facts number 1. Carmenere is now considered the national grape of Chile. And as we said, it started in the Bordeaux region, but it is now national to Chile. And we now know that November 24th is Carmenere Day. Number 2, I always love when I can do Punnett squares. So I'm just going to share with everybody that Punnett square, biology, genetics was my love of my life for biology, next to marine. So I love Punnett squares, which is what this is. Carmenere fast facts number 2, Cabernet Franc plus Gros Cabernet gave us Carmenere. Fast fact number 3, Carmenere is the deepest, darkest, and most purple of the red grapes. So I think if you did a fashion show, beauty queen type thing of grapes, I think Carmenere will win out, which is interesting because I noticed that there are part of UC Davis, we had to talk about the vines and the leaves and what they look like and how grapes cluster. You can tell the varietal by, are they long clustered, are they short clustered, are they fat, all this other stuff. And I kind of crack up a lot because Carmenere is such a beautiful grape that it is used in so many pictures, but they're not saying that it's Carmenere. It's been called other, but it's a beautiful grape. So it gets used, it gets shown in a lot of pictures. Carmenere fast fact number 4. Carmenere is late ripening variety. It is actually about a month later than Merlot. So you have to have a lot of patience and you have to have weather that can last throughout that long growing season. And that's one of the reasons why Chile has done such a great job with it. And our last Carmenere fast fact, number 5. Carmenere has fairly sweet tannins, which makes it a very approachable at a young age. So it's actually very nice that it's a wine that has enough tannic structure that it can lie down and you can drink it later on, but it also is one that you can go run to the store, pick up the latest vintage, and pop it open and enjoy it. So that is the Fast 5 facts.
That is great.
So I don't know. Yes, right?
So next month.
Go.
Next month we'll both be in our normal homes.
I will be back in Jersey, so I will be sad. But I will be back in Jersey for the our next one is September 18th. Okay, so that is our next date. I will be back in Jersey. So I'll be a little depressed, but I'll be drinking. And Debbie, what is our letter of the day? Our letter of the day is D, and it's going to stand for
Dolcetto. Next one.
Dolcetto. That is right. So next month, September 18th, the link is in the chat session for you to register. Remember, it's all free. Just register, and then that provides you with a reminder, and then it allows you to come in and view us while we are live. If you missed us live, remember it will be on both of our YouTube channels, so you can tune in there and watch it there. And it will eventually turn into a podcast when I find time to turn it into a podcast on Tracino Wines Podcast. But until then, Lancha.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Lancha.
Cheers.